Hi everyone, Adam here. This is a response to Andrew Molina, who recently ranked the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and I just want to give my response. So here we go. So I'm just going to stick to the original Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'm not going to do the remake or the crossover Freddy vs. Jason, which, just for the record, I do like. The remake, not so much. I'll leave a link to Andrew's list. So here we go. At the bottom of my list is, probably no surprise to most people, is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which most people consider probably the worst in the series. For a lot of reasons. The story is not very good. Freddy's at it. Look, Robert Englund's fine. He's always the best thing about these movies. But, it kind of started to look like a cartoon. I did see it in the cinemas, and the 3D effects were kind of murky. I don't think they aligned it right. Not that I'm an expert on 3D, but that's what I remember from it. Yeah, and the whole... Look, I didn't mind seeing some of the backstory of Freddy when you find out he has a daughter and that type of thing. That was okay, but the rest of it was just kind of silly. Especially the video game part was, that was like, okay, now this is just ridiculous. Dream Child is my next one down because it's kind of boring, I have to say. And also, I don't really like the whole thread of pushy parents. It's like an after-school special or something, pushy parents are a pain. Alright, we get it that you're trying to say something, but it's a Nightmare on Elm Street. We don't want anything that, that deep and meaningful. We've already got teenage pregnancy in this film, so we don't need a lecture about pushy parents. As for the concept, she's having nightmares while she's awake because her baby's dreaming. I don't know if that's scientifically accurate, but it sounds kind of silly, but yeah. So yeah, Dream Child. I'll tell you the one thing Dream Child does have, it does have a cool look to it, the gothic look, especially when you see in the church. Coming in at number 5, Freddy's Revenge, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, which of course is the one with the subtext, which for years, because when I first saw it I was a kid, so I didn't understand the subtext. Now when I watch it, it's kind of blatant. Not that I have a problem with it, but yeah, I'm just saying, it's so obvious now. Look, I don't have a problem with the character of Jesse. He seems like a pretty cool dude. He's got some cool dance moves. The problem I have is with the story where Freddy possesses Jesse, and then Jesse turns out to be the one that's killing people, but he's being made to do it by Freddy. See, that's the thing. You're supposed to have a clear-cut hero and a clear-cut villain, so that's a problem I have with Part 2. At number 4, I'm picking New Nightmare. I actually like New Nightmare, but I get why some people don't like it. It's kind of weird, and it's kind of outside the main story, where a demon has been let loose who has taken on the form of Freddy, and he's stalking the actors and people associated with The Nightmare on Elm Street. But I like it because it's different. It does go on for a bit too long though. It probably could have been edited down to about 90 minutes. It's almost 2 hours, but I think Heather Langenkamp is great in that. I like New Nightmare quite a bit. It's different. Yeah, and I do like Freddy's look with the trench coat and the hat, and his new glove in that one. So yeah. Number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. This is where we're introduced to the character of Alice. Continuing on from Part 3. This one, I like the visual style, and you can see why director Rennie Harlin went on to bigger things, ending up directing Die Hard 2 and some other action films. He has quite a unique visual style. I especially like the scene where they pull out from the junkyard. It also did introduce us to Alice, who's just starts off as a mousy girl and then becomes a fighter towards the end due to losing all her friends. And yeah, Andrew did say it probably did have one of the best endings, or best defeats of Freddy. And Part 4 also had probably some of the best special effects in the series. Some of the most memorable from the Pizza of Souls and Debbie turning into a cockroach. In a Nightmare. Plus, it had one of the coolest movie posters from the 80s, I reckon. It was just an awesome poster. Coming in at number 2, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. This is a fun one. This is where, you know, they actually found the formula for the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Basically, we actually go inside to Freddy's realm. And of course, there's some great characters in Kristen Kincaid, Joey, and of course, this is where Freddy started his kind of his what do you call them, one-liners, but none of them were over the top or grating. I mean, it does have probably the best line, you know, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." I love that scene. And at number 1, I'm putting, well, the original A Nightmare on Elm Street. The reason I put this number 1 is because it did something different with the slasher imagination. You know, killing people in their dreams, that's quite an interesting concept. And Wes Craven was really onto something. And you can kind of see, even though it's extremely low budget, they did some pretty neat special effects. Especially, of course, 2 standouts, of course, is when Freddy's coming through the wall. Where if you saw in the remake, it just looked, for some reason it looked worse, even though the original effect of coming through the wall was just spandex, and I think it was a backlight or something, and it worked well. And of course, a huge amount of blood coming out of Glenn's bed. Yeah, but yeah, so number 1 for me, just because it was something different to the slasher genre. Okay, that's going to do for my list. Feel free to rank them yourself. Okay, that's all for now, and I'll see you again soon.